All right. Have you ever wondered how you can play an online game in real time with people from across the world? Well, today I'm going to talk about the infrastructure that makes it possible. Talking about the physical infrastructure of the internet can be a little complicated because it's very diverse, especially in other countries, because we have it pretty standardized in America and it's kind of standardized in like Europe, but the standardizations are kind of different. So what I have done is I pinged my friend Gabriel, who lives in Wales on the west side of the English mainland, and I traced where my packet went all the way to him, and I'm going to explain where it went. So we're going to start at my modem. The internet kind of aggregates into, think of it like streams running into a river, and then the river running into an even bigger river. So the modem aggregates all of the internet from the devices in my house. And then all of the modems on my street go into what's called an optical node. The modems send the internet through a coaxial cable, which is just copper, all the way to the optical node, and then the optical node takes all the houses on my street and converts that into fiber optic. And fiber optic is basically just a pipe for light. All the optical nodes in an area, in my area at least, end up in a data center in Thomasville. The data center in Thomasville supports maybe 30,000 people, if I had to guess. It's not like that data is freely available, but that's a vague estimate. And then the data center in Thomasville connects, again in my case, to a data center in Greensboro. The data center in Greensboro is a data center for data centers. So probably about 30 data centers like the one in Thomasville connect to Greensboro. So the data center in Greensboro would support vaguely 900,000 people. And from there, we go to a data center for data centers for data centers. This one is in Durham, supporting the entire state, more or less, of North Carolina, about 9 million people. There's probably a sister data center of a similar size for redundancy on the west side of the state, but I wasn't able to confirm that for certain. Now, so far, my packet has been traveling directly east, which is exactly where we want it to go because it's going across the Atlantic Ocean. But it takes a turn here. It goes north to Ashburn, Virginia. This seems a bit odd, but Ashburn, Virginia is actually one of the largest data center networks in the world. According to Tim Strange, a chief research officer at Telegeography, which is a company that does analysis for telecommunications companies, about 22% of the world's internet travels through Ashburn, Virginia, which is really impressive because only about 23% of the world's internet travels through the United States at all. From Ashburn, Virginia, it actually keeps going north to Long Island. So on Long Island is actually one of the connection points for undersea cables that transmit the internet across the ocean. These are massive cables. The one that I believe my packet took is the Atlantic Crossing 1 cable, which is about 14,000 kilometers long. So it goes across that cable and ends up in the Netherlands. I'm actually kind of not sure why it ended up in the Netherlands specifically and didn't go directly to Wales, because there are connections that go directly from the United States to Wales. But it's not too far out there because the Netherlands is a similar situation to Ashburn, where it's just a massive data center hub. From there, the connection from the Netherlands goes back across the English Channel, and now it is closing in on my friend. It goes directly to a data center by Virgin Media. So throughout all the US, up until it hits Ashburn, it has all transferred through Charter. Then, when it was on the undersea cable, that undersea cable was developed by an Irish company, Tyco International, and an American company, Level 3 Communications. And now it is in Virgin Media, which is my friend's internet service provider. From there, it actually doesn't go through as many data centers. I'm not sure exactly why, if it's an infrastructural difference, or if he just happens to be directly connected to the big data center that probably does like a large part of the UK. But it goes from that hub, doesn't hit any other data centers, and goes directly to a passive optical network, which is kind of like that optical node that I mentioned before. But instead of converting coax to fiber optic, it just splits the fiber optic to everyone else's house, which means that he has fiber optic going directly to his house instead of a coax cable. And then it hits his house. This is an incredible feat of engineering. Billions, trillions of dollars, and people dedicating their entire lives just so some people in an online game can say some very rude things about my mother.